What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Different show today, no graphics. We got a lot of producers tied up, so I just kind of hit the start button and we're going here. Still in our studios here, but no graphics today. But there's enough stuff going on around this team. Stick around toward the end of the video. I'm going to talk about Hurricane Ian and how that could affect this game this weekend. The Bucs aren't even able to practice in Tampa right now. Could the game get moved from Tampa Bay? Very much a possibility. Stick around until the end of the show, and we will explore that. But first, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid both commented on the Eric Bieniemy dust-up, as we'll call it. I'll put that in quotes. It's not like they, threw punches or something like that. But we all saw what happened on Sunday at the end of the first half. Just to reiterate, for those of you who may have missed it, we've talked about it a couple of times, but I know not everybody watches every video. At the end of the first half, Chiefs ran out the clock with 20 seconds left. Patrick Mahomes wanted to take a couple more shots downfield, try to get some points. He and Eric Bieniemy got into it a little bit. The cameras picked it up, and maybe it looked worse than it actually was, which is kind of what Mahomes and Andy Reid both said earlier today. So I did want to get some quotes there. The Chiefs also cut a player, so stick around for that as well. Here's what Mahomes had to say on his weekly appearance on 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City. He said, I think seeing the video, I see why people thought it's a bigger deal than it actually was. I wanted to take another chance and try to get it down the field and get out of bounds or something like that and try to give us a chance to either throw a Hail Mary or kick a field goal. But they had kind of made the decision, not just Coach Bieniemy, it was the full offensive staff, including Andy Reid. Right when we got to the locker room, we just started talking. It was like it never even happened. We both understand that we're both trying to do whatever we can to win the game. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's not like these things are lingering around and stuff like that. I'll have disagreements with other people as well. It's not just something with EB. Here's my problem. And maybe that's true, and there's probably a lot of truth to it. I mean, if Bieniemy's back this year, then Mahomes at least somewhat signed off on it. I think there has to be some truth to that. But my problem is it seems like there's a history of this now where Mahomes and Bieniemy aren't on the same page. And look, you're not always going to be on the exact same page with your teammates, your coaches, whatever, but I can't get that report that dropped about the AFC Championship game last year where there was a blow-up at halftime with Bieniemy, Kafka. These guys are all yelling at each other. And clearly in the second half, they did not play well. I can't get past that. Now you got this incident where Mahomes is clearly like saying, hey, let's go, let's throw the football. And Bieniemy's like, no, calm down, let's get to the locker room. They're not on the same page. At least that's how it looks. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. If that's what the Chiefs are saying, hey, that's fine. But I'm keeping an eye on this. Like in my eyes, I'm keeping a close eye on the interactions between Patrick Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, and Andy Reid. That is something I am going to watch moving forward. I want to ask you, do you have concerns or even problems with Eric Bieniemy? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Let us know down in the comment section below. It'll be the pinned comment on today's video. Do you have problems with Eric Bieniemy? Type Y for yes or type in for no. Again, I can't say if I have specific problems with him, but what I'll continue to say is something just feels a little bit off. I think it's fair to say he hasn't got a head coaching job for a reason. There's been multiple reports of spat-ups at this point between Mahomes and Bieniemy. I don't know. Something feels off. Here's what Andy Reid had to say today. He said, I don't think the camera probably showed the reality. EB was just communicating calm, saying, listen, we'll get it in the second half here. He was explaining the situation to him being Mahomes. He said, Patrick, and this is what makes him great. He wants to rip your heart out on every play and every opportunity he gets. And he has taken a pretty good lick the play before, so my decision was to do that. So Reid taking ownership here. It wasn't EB. EB was just the calming effect there. Sometimes things look different. Listen, it's an emotional game. I wouldn't want it any other way. That's what makes it great. And so that's why we all love Patrick. He wants to play. There's guys that shy away from that right there and say, hey, let's just take it in and go the other direction. He wants to get in there and go, but that's where I come in, and I've got to make sure that we do what we think is best. And Pat explained it, I thought, very well. And let's not change Pat Mahomes, man. Let's not change that, or Eric Bieniemy for that matter. Let's not change that. Those two are great men right there. And look, I don't have problems with guys who are passionate and disagreeing. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is there's been enough rumors and buzz out there about the disagreements. You know, you got people like LaShawn McCoy who play for Bieniemy calling him out saying he doesn't know offense. Players don't listen to him. You got all this stuff, and then now you're having to backtrack on what is and isn't true. And again, I don't know what's completely true, and maybe that's part of the problem. We don't completely know, and okay, fair enough. They brought Bieniemy back for a reason, right? And, you know, I don't have major concerns about the offense, but if your three main offensive minds in Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Patrick Mahomes are constantly bickering, which I'm not saying they are, but if this continues to happen, game in and game out, I just don't know if it's a good thing. It's the old phrase, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, you got Matt Nagy lingering in there now. We know Chiefs Kingdom loves Matt Nagy. He was the former offensive coordinator before he got the Bears job. It just feels like there's a lot going on here. So they're downplaying it, and hey, good for them. They want to drown out the noise, but I'm not just going to forget about it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm looking at this moving forward. I can promise you that. Hit that subscribe button here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you want more Chiefs news, rumors, other videos throughout the week, we're going to have you covered here on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe. We'll have more videos tomorrow and, of course, throughout the rest of the week leading up to Sunday. A couple other news items I want to get to. The Chiefs have released linebacker Elijah Lee. He is a veteran, so he doesn't go to waivers, which means he could re-sign to the practice squad. The Chiefs also did sign Cortez Broughton to the practice squad, defensive tackle, so I'm not sure if that impacts Lee's ability to return or not. Kind of an interesting move, if we're being honest, because with Willie Gay suspended, you would think you'd want some depth there at linebacker, but maybe they're comfortable with Leo Chenal next to Nick Bolton and obviously, you know, Darius Harris in the mix there as well. We'll see what happens with Lee. He can be elevated on game day as a practice squad member a couple of times. So that could be a possibility. Maybe this is just a roster maneuver and he'll get re-signed to the 53 soon. I'm not sure, but he has been released. He's kind of been off and on the 53 early on here in the 2022 season. We'll see if Broughton shows anything on the practice squad, joining a couple of other defensive tackles there as well. And then I do want to talk about this Hurricane Ian situation because this is a pretty serious situation. I don't know if you've been tracking the news, but depending on how this hurricane travels, the state of Florida, specifically near Tampa, could be hit pretty hard, which means Chiefs at Bucs this week is somewhat in doubt, at least in Tampa Bay. The Bucs are having to practice in Miami right now at the Dolphins facility, so they're not even practicing at home. Now, you might think, oh, okay, well, we'll just play in Miami this week because the Dolphins play on Thursday night. That's actually not the case. The NFL has already come out and said it would be a Midwest location, Minneapolis, the most likely if this game were to move. Now, I will say that the NFL does not want to move this game in terms of dates because it's primetime Sunday Night Football. So I think we'll have a decision by Saturday on where this game is being played. But look, if it's a Category 2 storm. If it hits Tampa dead on, there's a very good chance this game will not be played in Tampa. So keep an eye on that. We're going to be monitoring it throughout the week here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report because obviously, from time to time, there have been situations like this where games have had to be moved. Obviously, the whole situation in New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina, where they couldn't even play at home for an entire season. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But with the Chiefs playing in Tampa this week, it obviously has a direct implication on this week's matchup. So keep an eye on that because this hurricane seems to be pretty serious. Let us know who is going to win and what is the score going to be in this matchup. Get those score predictions in between the Chiefs and the Bucs. I mean, it could be a break for the Chiefs if they play up in Minneapolis. That becomes more of a neutral game between Kansas City and Tampa Bay, so keep that in mind as well. Get those score predictions in. Chiefs and Bucs, Sunday Night Football, if it stays in Sunday Night Football again. Lots of weather updates to come throughout the week here on the Chiefs Report. You can also catch my updates on social media at HGramNFL on Twitter, at HGramNFL on Instagram. If any major developments drop, we'll have you covered as well. Get those score predictions also. All right, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you guys. No graphics today, just me talking to you, reading some quotes. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. By the way, you made it to the end, so that makes you a real one. So comment real one down below in the comments. I am Harrison Graham signing off here on the Chiefs Report. We will see you tomorrow with another video.